The CRA is essentially trying to set our expectations so that we know that they're planning on closing their phone lines. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell Matthews and I'm back with another Canadian benefit update for you. At this point, if you're watching this, you probably already know that the Canadian government has implemented 3 new benefits to replace the old Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. That's the Canada Recovery Benefit, or CRB, the Canada Caregiver Recovery Benefit, the CCRB, or the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, or the CRSB. The CCRB and the CCSB both came out back on October 5th. They were our first glance at how the application process would work, and it was sort of a test for if there were going to be any hitches in the system or what was going to be challenging for the CRA to handle. Then, on Monday, October 12th, the CRB was released and people were able to apply for that. Apparently, the CRA didn't learn too much from their trial run with the CRCB and the CRSB because this launch day was brutal. And now there's information coming down the pipeline that could make this application process even harder next time you go to do it. No matter if you applied this time on the computer or if you applied on the phone, chances are these systems are going to keep being crowded on the release day of each and every single CRB period, especially with these new potential changes. So today we're going to cover the potential changes that could be coming down the pipeline, the pros and cons for each of them, and we're going to get you updated. But first, if you're new to the channel, hey, how's it going? It's nice to meet you. My name's Russell Matthews, and I post videos on this channel about business, investing, real estate, but mostly personal finance, and trying to set Canadians up so that they can get high quality information that will help them live a more wealthy, healthy, and financially stable future. If that sounds interesting to you, or you just want to stay 100% up to date with any news that could affect you and your money, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And while you're at it, hit the like button on this video because just one click of that button spreads this video to tons of more people who could be looking for this information. With all that said, let's dive into these new changes that could be coming and find out how it could affect you. Of course, you'll know that the CRB launch this week did not go well. You were able to apply in 2 different ways, online or over the phones. Both systems had major problems though. First of all, the CRB's online site was giving everyone an error code saying that they had already applied and they had already gotten their money, even though they hadn't. And that was just one of many error codes that people were getting without any information about how these error codes were being given to them. Plus, on the other end, when you called on the phone, half the day the phone lines were down, I'm thinking because of overload on their system, so many people calling in, not being able to finish their applications, trying over and over and over again. So all around, the phone system didn't work, and all around, the online system didn't work for everybody. So you would think that they would want to optimize these 2 systems to make the future process a little bit faster, right? Well, it seems like they might actually be funneling us all into the same one system, which could be tricky to deal with the demand. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can think back to a video that I posted on my channel all the way about a week and a half ago. I posted this video on the day that you were first able to apply for the CRCB and the CRSB. And there was information in there that I didn't talk about that I think is actually pretty major. Let's take a look and see if you can find it. This is the video on my channel where I first realized that they could be making these changes. Let's see if we can find the spot where I heard something from the CRA that could sound a little fishy. And it was right around this point in the video where this information kind of sparked my interest. Let's listen. I know a little bit of French, but I'm not up to date with it. Not about my French. It's coming up.
This automated telephone service will only be available for a limited time. If you still need financial support payments, you may need to submit your applications through CRA's My Account service in the future. Don't wait until the last minute. Set up your My Account now. You can do so.
There it is. That's the ominous warning that I'm talking about. I didn't want to talk about it too much before all these benefits came out because I didn't want to confuse people, making them think that they could only go to one place when actually the phone lines did work for people yesterday. But now I think it's important that people think about this. The CRA is essentially trying to set our expectations so that we know that they're planning on closing their phone lines. At first glance, does that seem like a good idea to you or a bad idea? I mean, both systems had problems online and on the phone, so why are they planning on closing down the phones and forcing everybody to go online? In my eyes, I see some positives with it and some negatives. So let's start with the pros, because to be fair, I see fewer of them. The first pro is that if they close the phone lines, everybody will be just using the same online system. We won't have everybody split up into 2 streams, making the process all the more confusing. If we had one steady stream, everybody doing it online, I think the CRA might be able to put out more consistent information that could be more pertinent to every single person because everybody's going to apply in the same way on the CRA website. The other pro is that the phone system definitely isn't as forgiving if you're trying to get through to it to make your application. Online, you just have to click a few buttons and it'll tell you whether you're accepted or whether you're not or whether there's some error. When you're on the phone, on the other hand, you have to go through each and every single phone menu, pressing the right buttons, entering your SIN number, and at the end of all that time spent, there could be an error code, which would force you to call back and do that all over again. I talked to a bunch of people in the comment section of these videos who went through just that, and it was a pretty crummy experience for them. And at least online, when you came up with some error, they actually gave you an error code so you could collaborate with other people and try to figure out what went on. To the best of my knowledge, when you encountered an error on the phone, you basically heard them say, there was an error in the system, or you are ineligible, and boom, automatically they hung up on you. If that was me on the other end, I think that my frustration levels would be through the roof. So those are a couple pros to this idea of totally shutting down the CRA phone lines. And now for the cons. First off, the CRA's website was already unstable enough. Could you imagine pushing all the people who are on the phones all onto the website at the exact same time when each application period opens up? Both for the CRB and for these new benefits, there have been instances where their entire website has been shut down from a huge amount of volume of traffic on their website. If the phone line's still up, potentially this is taking some traffic off of the site, and if it's down, everybody's going through the one place, and what do you think is going to happen? It's going to shut down the website. This seems like a huge technical hurdle for them, and one that I quite frankly don't think that they're up for. Another con is that it essentially eliminates a lot of people from being able to apply. I know it's the year 2020 and most people have a computer and have some sort of access to the internet. But there are lots of people who still aren't comfortable applying for these sort of things and entering their information and setting up accounts. It's very challenging for some people just to navigate. I'm lucky because I'm relatively young and I've grown up with this sort of stuff, so it kind of comes second nature to me and to many of you who are around my age. But the CRB and these Canadian benefits aren't just for people who know how to work a computer. It should be able to be doled out to everybody who needs it. And to be fair, there are just people that can't access these websites on a regular basis. Many families on a lower income may not have the money to pay for the high-speed internet that you would need to get onto these websites and apply effectively. And if they don't have internet, in the past they could have just gone to a library, but with the onset of COVID-19, it's more and more difficult to get access to these public spaces in a safe and reasonable way. Some more cynical people than me would make the suggestion that this is something that's planned so that lower income people can't apply and it sort of cuts them off from accessing this government aid. Now, I don't know if I believe that 100%. I think it's a little bit of a cynical way to look at things. I believe the Canadian government wants the people to get this money if they are in the right situation to do so and if they're eligible for it. But I've definitely heard theories like that sort of spinning around online. All around, I'm not making this video to try to freak you out. What I'm trying to do is make this video to bring you this information as ahead of time as possible, so if you're concerned that they'll actually go through with this policy change, you'll have time to make your account and do whatever you need to do to have access to that online application. I would hate for them to spring this phone closure on us last minute and have you not have a chance to set up your account in a timely way. If you need some help setting up your CRA account, take a look at this video here and I'll link it down in the description too. It takes you through the basic ways that you can set up this account so that you'll be able to access your next application. But I'm curious about what you think. How do you think that these changes are going to affect our applications? How would the closure of the phone lines affect you? Are you currently applying via phone because you don't have access to the internet, or does it not really matter because you're online? Tell me in the comments down below, is this a good idea or a very bad one? And if you haven't done so already, make sure to click the like button and turn it blue, because just by doing that small little thing for free, you could be spreading that video to somebody who needs it. And of course, if this video provided any value to you, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm going to keep bringing content to this channel that helps Canadians get themselves set up so they can live a more financially stable future. If that's something you want to do, then feel free to follow along with us. With all of that said, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope this video helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.